First 2 lines of cows this morning are under. Looking pretty good. 3 or 4 cows were just spraying milk out of their udders as soon as they got in the parlor, so there's lots of milk in the udders this morning. So I got a cow here with duct tape around her foot, and that's from when the hoof trimmer was out here. Some cows, they had a little sore in between their hooves, and if we wrap them, the hoof trimmer, he's got some type of organic paste he puts on there, and it gets rid of those sores. But you do need to come along after a week or so and take all of those wraps off, because a lot of them won't come off by themselves. And if you're gonna leave that thing on there for weeks and maybe even months, obviously it's not gonna do any good for her. So we got a special tool where I can just take that duct tape right off. It's smooth around the edges, and then the inside of that is kind of a knife. That's a nice little hook. You kind of just put it in that duct tape and pull it off. It's super sharp, and it's pretty safe because of the design. So all you got to do is put it in that duct tape, yank it off, and it should come right off. So a lot of the cows are gonna kick when you try to take that wrap off of their hoof. It's a pretty unnatural feeling for them to get something yanked from their hoof, but it doesn't hurt the cow at all, and she's just kicking because it feels weird. My aim is a little bit off today. All right, we're all done milking this morning. Now comes the fun part of cutting all that duct tape off of the cow's hoofs. Got to pick it all up. I don't throw it into a bucket while we're milking. That just takes too much extra time. So I just cut it loose, let him kick it off. It sometimes takes a couple steps for it to come off. When a cow is walking, it doesn't come off right away. So you can see there towards the back, there's a bunch on the ground as well. So we're gonna go and pick that all up before we flush it and kick it all down the gutter. We wouldn't want to do that. So gonna clean it all up. Some people are probably gonna ask why he uses duct tape instead of a more conventional wrap for a cow's leg or a hoof. And that's because duct tape actually does come off a bit easier, and it doesn't stay on the cow's hoof as long. The idea behind using duct tape is hopefully within a week it's gonna fall off. We just go along maybe a little bit earlier, 5, 6, 7 days after, and take it off manually by hand just to make sure that it all comes off, because otherwise the odd cow might have it on there 2 weeks from now, and we don't want that to happen. But he just uses duct tape because it's cheap too. It's pretty cheap stuff, and you can wrap a lot of cows with a single roll of duct tape, and it doesn't really matter what you use as long as it works and keeps the solution on the cow's sore, and that's kind of what fixes the sore on the cow's hoof. But yeah, we're gonna clean all this duct tape up, and then we'll clean the parlor off. It's a bucket right there. The next thing I'm working on this morning is cleaning out a calf room. Me and Dad took the calves out of this room yesterday evening, and they were a phenomenal looking batch of calves. They're super healthy. They've been growing really good, and they're nice heavy calves, about 2.5 months old. And that's awesome that they're doing so good in this calf barn. So next step is clean it all out, sanitize it all, clean will pressure wash it again. We've been able to get these times to turn these rooms over down quite a bit too. If me and my dad work together cleaning one of these rooms out, it takes us about 2 hours, and then Nalene comes in and she'll pressure wash it in about 3 or 4 hours, I think. So we're speeding it up. We're getting used to these calf rooms. It is only, you know, this barn is only in use for maybe a 1.5 years tops now. So we've probably moved now, I don't know, 12, maybe 14 rooms through in total. And it's just been a joy to work in this calf barn. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish scooping the sawdust, the bedding out of this room, and then we'll get it pressure washed tomorrow probably. So we just unloaded 24 pallets of sawdust. That's the truck. Massive truck. So I guess this is from Big River, Saskatchewan. It's about 250 clicks away from our farm, so a bit of a haul, but I guess that's where the sawmill is. And the guy was telling me about his trailer there. It's got a walking floor. I'll put a couple clips up while I'm talking here. Basically what that means is it's got 3 different sections of slats on the floor that move at a time. So I guess every third one will start to move, and it slowly kind of walks the pallets out, and that works really good. You can see it took all of them out. Every single pallet made it all the way to the back. It doesn't always happen like that, but it did work really good today. Another interesting thing he was telling me, he can just throw bulk in that trailer of sawdust. So just buckets and buckets and buckets in that trailer. Doesn't even have to be on pallets like this. It can just be loose in the trailer. And same thing, he'll just walk it out with that trailer just like that as well. So it's pretty cool. And this just works good for us in our calf barn, just with the bags of sawdust. So that's how we do it. But I guess some guys will buy it in bulk and they'll have a nice bay and they'll just fill that thing up and grab buckets with the Bobcat. To each their own, but it's cool that that trailer does them both. Good morning, everybody. Today we got some brushes to fix up in the barn here. You guys will notice it's a little bit warmer outside, and that's why the barn is nice and clear. Cool fact about the last video, I guess minus 40 degrees Celsius is the same as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you were wondering how cold it actually was, I guess that's where the two intersect, and it's the same in both degrees, I guess. So that's pretty cool. But we got 2 brushes to fix up this morning. The De Laval cow brushes. It's just a wire. You can see cow's been biting and biting on here, and it's just been pinched and ripped apart, and that's why these things aren't working. You can see there's a cow standing at the other brush at the front there. It's not turning at all. The 2 front brushes in this barn both have the wires broken, and that's the power source. You can see it's plugged in right there, and the wire goes down to the motor and the control box here. That's what's broken. So I'm going to start out by taking that wire out, and then we can grab the new wire, put it back in here. in, but you can see it's just snapped right off. That's no good. All right, so that first little section of wire was from that control box up into the metal wire there, right where it kinked. Now we're gonna open that one up and we're gonna pull the rest of the wire out that end. Then we got some new wire and we'll just make a copy. And then we'll head over to that brush. Always gotta take a picture so I know how to put it back together. Good. Just be able to pull this wire straight up, pull it through this entire housing here, but it looks like I'm gonna have to pull this apart because it's stuck in there. It'd be really nice just to be able to yank it right out, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case. We're in the water room and this is where we're gonna get that new wire going. So this is the new wire that the dealer gave me and it's apparently gonna be stronger. It's gonna be, I guess, better in cold weather. That's kind of why we suspect that that grayer wire broke. Probably because it got cold and then cows were biting it. And it just snapped right in half, unfortunately. So hopefully this new one that they gave me is gonna be better. Hopefully it's gonna last longer. We'll see if it does or not. But I'm just gonna line that old one up to this new one and then we're gonna cut it. Strip the ends. You can see the ends are stripped like this, so that's how it plugs into the brush. They're not like that on here, so we're gonna have to do that. Then we can get it back in that brush. Hopefully we can get it running again. All right, so this is the new wire for the brush and I brought it over there to try and weave it through, but this is the kind of protector. It's kind of a spring, just a bunch of metal coil, and that's supposed to go around this wire to keep it safe. Funny thing, you can literally see right here, that's where the wire broke. And I was kind of struggling to get this wire to go through it, so I just took this thing off. We're just gonna thread it through here. Hopefully it'll be easier if it's straight. So it's kind of difficult to film in the barn with all the cows trying to knock the camera over. So I got my sister here, she's gonna film me in the barn.
Hopefully it'll end up good.
Right on. Okay, so green wire is the ground, and then there's two power, like electrical wires there. So we gotta remember that once we go to the top, and wire it back up top there.
Gonna be in the video now, me, yeah? See, I'm giving this to Jan because he dropped it. The bonehead dropped it. I hand it to Jan.
Just like that, zero struggles at all, the brush is fixed. Zero struggles at all. Thank you very much for watching today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. If you guys want to, you can check out the Instagram and the TikTok, same as the YouTube channel here, Sask Dutch Kid, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.